everybody. Thanks for joining us here at Beans with Dying on the Inside. This week we have an exclusive for us. We have a big TikTok interview. We reached out to Paul White, also known as Jumpsuit Pablo, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. Great pull by a producer over there. Well done.
I just loved him.
Right. I mean, hey, you found him. You brought him. We showed one of his TikToks on an episode about the nickname Dub and how he got that in prison.
Yeah. I love that one and the Pepsi one.
Talking with Jumpsuit Pablo was fantastic. Got to learn more about like what he does with TikTok and where he came from, and I learned things. I don't know.
Right.
Do you have? I mean, I guess since you found him, you got to bring us another one. Are there more TikTokers in the future? Is that the plan? Hopefully, will you get us more interviews like this?
I would love to. There's so many TikTok people that I'm absolutely in love with. I'll try to reach out to them.
I'm just saying, Scott Rogers, I know he's not doing much.
He seems like such a sweet dude.
He does. He seems great. So hopefully we'll get him as well. He's not as sweet, though, as Paul White. Jumpsuit Pablo, better known as. Before we go to his interview, we are going to show one of his TikToks. So we're going to cut to that. And then following that will be the interview. And then stay tuned. We got more to talk about. We're going to come back. We're going to come back after that. We'll talk about more. Hey guys, make sure to check out friends of the podcast, What the F is Ladylike podcast with Sarah and Jewel. You can find their show on Spotify or Anchor.fm.
They also have super cute merch at bonfire.com.
Boom.
People tell me I look like Rufus the Naked Mole Rat from Kim Possible. I just got done doing 9 years in prison. Well, fuck y'all. I guess we ain't clapping tonight, goddamn. Nobody's supporting. But you probably don't believe me. Everybody's always like, you don't look like you did 9 years in prison. Yeah, I goddamn know. That's why I got the shit beat out of me. All my teeth done withered away or been knocked out back there, so they fucking hurt. I got a tooth infection the other day. I tried, all the dentist offices are closed. I go to urgent care for some antibiotics and some pain pills. The lady comes in, the doctor, she's like, all right, your teeth bothering you, go ahead and smile for me. Let me take a look. She's like, meth. No, not that, no, meth, no, actually, no meth, zero meth, you fucking bitch. But go ahead and prescribe me something for that burn you just laid on me, goddamn. That's about all I've got. I had 9 years in prison to come up with shit, and that's all the fuck I got.
TikTok was big for us, especially during the pandemic, you know, being trapped, just being able to flick through that and see real people doing real videos was great. I didn't realize I would have loved Vine if I knew what it was, but I didn't. And then TikTok came around, and that's what our algorithms, you know, sent us down numerous paths. But then the prison talk, and that's how we came across you. So with it, I guess the typical prison questions, right? What'd you go in for? How long? Where were you at?
Right. Well, I went in originally when I was 21. Right after my 21st birthday, I got arrested for 2 armed robberies, and I was sentenced to 10 years. And so that's what I did. And pretty much 9 off of 10, because that's just how that works. And where was I at? I mean, South Carolina, there's numerous yards within the state. and you're not, nobody's just got to stay at 1 yard their whole time unless you're doing like a month, So I've been to several yards in South Carolina, really.
What was the biggest shock? Because I think there's certain things we all kind of just assume, but there had to be something that really got you.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think for me it was the biggest shock going in there was just. I think it was just the reality of it. I think everyone's watched TV shows. I have, watched TV shows, documentaries, the jail shows, the movies. And I mean, you think you know, and then you just, man, it's crazy when that's your reality. And I mean, I did what I did to get there. So, I mean, you can't really, but still, I mean, once you're there and that's the reality of it, it's just, it kind of hits hard. Like, I think the shock was just the fact that this is happening and this is where I'm at. I can't leave. Just like, this is my life for the next 10 years, you know, and just everything that comes with it. I mean, it's an entire new, it's not really one thing. It's just, everything is just brand new. And you really have to learn kind of everything over again in there. And, I'm not from, I don't really, it's just not my scene. I mean, people don't go to prison. It's not that fucking tough where I'm from. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not the environment. I just did some dumbass shit, and I went there just way out of my element. So, I mean, everything was kind of a shock. Just the fact that I actually fucked up that bad, and I actually have to be here, cannot leave, and this is just what it is for the next 9 years. That was...
I can picture... I can picture, like, watching... You see the videos of people cooking and the different things that they make in there. And I got to assume that every once in a while you have to, like, step out of your body for a second. Like, yo, you're here for a minute, and this is what you're doing right now. And just those kind of little things of, dang, all right, this is how we're using Top Ramen today. And
Dude, it's, it's, you're surrounded mostly by people who have already settled into the life, and they've settled in for, quite a while ago, maybe even before you got there. And it's nothing to them. It's normal to them, and they just do it. And, I mean, that's just what you got to do, man. You just got to do it. And, I mean, it'll make you or break you, really. And, I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, you got to get with it. You just gotta mix in and go along with it. That's all you can do.
So then rolling with that, what was the biggest shock getting out? I mean, you did 9 years. TikTok wasn't a thing when you went in. What shocked you the most coming back out?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, TikTok. But when I went in prison, memes were just becoming a thing. I remember that. Memes were just becoming a thing. People had just made the move maybe 2 years prior from MySpace over to Facebook. And we're just now kind of fucking with Instagram a little bit.
Reddit was just like...
so I don't even think Snapchat was a thing. So it was... it was back then. So, man, coming out... a lot of people ask me that. And the thing is... probably halfway or a little bit less than halfway through my sentence, from about that time to the day I got out, I had a cell phone. I had a contraband cell phone. And I did keep up with the social media. If nothing else, I'd be on Facebook. I didn't really have TikTok because the phones that you get in there, that are just floating around for sale, they're not that great. They're probably $30 from Dollar General. You can't even download an app the size of TikTok. But I did stay on Facebook, and so I was kind of all this. Everyone feels like you went in 2012, 2013. You get out now. Obviously, there's been some huge changes to the world. I actually kind of kept up with that. And a lot of people did. So it wasn't really so much that and just society that shocked me. I think it was more, it wasn't really prison, going from prison to freedom. I think it was more just I got locked up when I was at this age, 20, 21, still living with my mom, still depending on, for most of the responsibilities just to be handled by my mom. And then I get out and I'm almost 30 and it's like, there's no easing into that. Obviously, there's no more living with mom or all that. Is time to be an adult. And I didn't really get to gradually ease into that throughout my 20s. It's just kind of just going in at 20, coming out at 30, and just learning all that at once, along with going from this side of the fence to stepping on this side of the fence so quick. It has been a lot to just kind of figure out.
Getting out, what was, do you think, the dumbest thing that you were like excited about when you got out?
It wasn't dumb to me. It was fucking...
Well, right.
Probably legitimate alcohol because, anything that wasn't made with fermented beets and fucking rotten coconuts and just whatever the fuck they use to make that shit in prison. It's strong in there. Don't get me wrong. That prison wine is strong, but I just drank a lot of it in there. So when I got out, I was just happy to get some actual legitimate alcohol. Yeah. Just fucking enjoy it.
What's your drink of choice?
Other than that, some pussy, I guess.
Hey, got 9 years. We get it.
Yeah.
What's your drink of choice?
Drink of choice? These days it's probably liquor. Either maybe Jack Daniels. Probably
nice.
Just anything brown. Yep. Nothing like tequila. I can't do that. It's too much. I learned quick. So anything brown I can handle and we're good.
See, if you were here, that's a thing we do before every episode. We do a shot of tequila and then come on down and record.
Well, that's what I had at the bar, and then I fell asleep and woke up to the fucking appointment time. So I was like, oh, shit.
So you're pretty open about being in prison, your past and everything. Do you feel like, is there a reason for that? Does it help you? Are you trying to help other people?
No. No, I'm not trying to help anybody. It's the internet, and you're not going to hide that, first of all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get on here. I've had people already try to, just dig deep, and, you can find the article on Google about what the fuck I did. So, it's not something that's going to be kept secret.
Yep.
So, I knew I had to come out with that, especially if that was my name. The name, it wasn't pre-planned for me to have this name, Jumpsuit Pablo, and then get on TikTok, and then blah, blah, blah. I kind of, I think I made the account when I was in prison, and then realized I couldn't even, buffer any of the fucking videos because my phone was so shitty, the connection's so shitty. So, when I did get on TikTok, I just used that account. It was just kind of spontaneous. So, having a name like that, there's really no hiding it. And,
Yeah, and I'll say as a stand-up fan, Patrice O'Neal, my favorite stand-up. And the biggest thing for him was the truth is the truth is the truth. And the truth will always be funny. And so that's the thing is, as a stand-up, I talk about my life. I have a kid, I smoke weed, I go goof around, I have a good time. That's what I tell jokes about. And so it's, you have a different truth than what other people have to be able to talk about. I fucking love it. Even just the simple stories, the nickname story, the dub.
That was my favorite.
Man.
I showed that TikTok on our podcast, one of the episodes.
Well, and with that, it's like, I mean, I certainly didn't start telling those stories because I felt this story needs to be told, and I need to represent inmates. I mean, it wasn't that. It's just I spent a third. I mean, I'm 30, so a third of my life has been there. A lot of my comedic inspiration is going to come from there. So I mean, that's just what it was, and I had to be more open about it because if you're telling the internet that you've been to prison, number one, you got to clear up the fact that you're not there for some funky shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Which I mean is valid. I mean, if somebody's gonna support you, they gotta know that you're not one of them. So I understand. But I mean, with telling the stories, the prison stories, it's kind of like I would be in prison. A lot of these stories, and you'll see, in the actual prison stories that I post, there's like actual footage of some of this stuff in prison that I'm talking about, and people are like, wow, how do you have these clips? How do you have that? And it's like, well, that just shows you kind of how long I've really been planning on doing this. Not necessarily on TikTok, but just on the internet somewhere. And, I would be in prison on my phone, on Facebook, like I said, and most of these stories, especially I think the first one, maybe the first or second story I did was the nickname story. I would type them out in just written form on Facebook because I would make memes. I was I guess you could call it a meme lord. I was under a fake name, and I just had everybody from my city. Everybody knew it was me, but I would have a lot of memes go viral, and I would just I enjoyed it. That's what first kind of got me into the internet, just being entertaining and funny on the internet, and I liked it because I didn't have anything else better to do, and it helped me connect. I felt connected with people out there. I would wake up and just have a joke or have some comedy to share, and people started eating up the prison stuff. They loved to hear about it, especially like the humor I put into it, and they loved it. That these were just my friends that I've been to high school with, so I would write out the text form of these stories. Pretty much all the stories I posted on my TikTok at a later time, they all started out as just me writing them and posting the written version to Facebook, and it got such good feedback, and everyone loved it to where when I did get on TikTok and I was just kind of doing little skits and it started to blow up, I was like, fuck, well, what am I going to do now? Because I couldn't really think of anything. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to tell some of these prison stories because, I would look to my memes that I've actually made myself or just, some of that as inspiration for jokes. And I just started reenacting the prison stories that I've written. I would do the narration, already had it written, so I could just voice over it, and then I would act out every scene. And I started posting those, and people loved it. So, that's really why I did it. But as I started to do that, a lot of people who had been in prison or had loved ones in prison or, associations such as that, they said, I started to get feedback that they really loved it. They enjoyed it. How I kind of just put a more human side to people who've been in prison and how that helped them, or they have a father or someone who's in prison that they don't really talk to, and that made them feel so much better because there are some funny moments. It's not all just what you see on TV and just terrible shit. So, I mean, I once I saw that, that did change things a little bit, but initially that wasn't why I was telling the stories. But as I did, I started seeing a lot of messages and just feedback like that, and that was pretty cool.
You had said that comedy was always the goal. Was it kind of a stand-up avenue, or has that been something you've been thinking about?
Well, I mean, not necessarily. I've always, when you're in prison with a phone, you get to just you get on different shit that you just watch. I mean, you're in the room all day, pretty much 23 hours a day. So there was a lot of periods where I would just watch stand-up and just watch people do stand-up and kind of study it. Not really study it, but just have an appreciation for it. And I always wanted to do it, but I knew it looked easier than it actually was. I knew that. and it wasn't necessarily. I felt like it's better just if I'm gonna do this. This day and age, I feel like you need to really get the internet under control. Like you really got to have your presence established on the internet. But I feel like all serious comedians do go through that rite of passage, I guess, with the stand up, and they get that pretty down pat. The reason I tried it the first time at all was because I think I had maybe 20,000 followers at this point on TikTok, and I had a link in my bio to my YouTube, and I probably only had like 100 people on my YouTube, and it was mostly just friends who I went to school with who were already subscribed. I didn't even have any videos up. They were just subscribed because I planned to do something someday on YouTube. So I was like, man, I need to grow my YouTube. And so I made a video, and I was like, if I get 500 subscribers this week, I will go try, because a lot of people were commenting on my videos like, you need to try stand-up. I said, if I get 500 subscribers this week, I will go try stand-up comedy. And I ended up getting like fucking 2,000. I was like, holy shit. I didn't even think it was going to get 500.
I'm going to be honest, I think I liked that one. I really wanted to do stand-up.
I really didn't even think it was going to get 500. And then it like soared past 500, which is great. That's awesome. But I was like, fuck, because I was really scared to do stand-up. I was like, well, god damn it. I guess I got to do fucking stand-up now. So yeah, that's really why I did it the first time, and I had a good time. My buddy went with me. He wants to possibly do it too in the future, so he wanted to come back this week, and I said, well, fuck, I wasn't even gonna do it this time. But I had a couple shots, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. I think I can get up there.
Did you film that one as well?
Huh?
Did you film that one as well?
Yeah, I did film it. I just put it on YouTube.
Nice.
I think I just put a clip of it on TikTok right before I got on here with you guys, because there was some like old couple heckling in the crowd, drunk, and I just fired them up with roasts. But but the full video's on YouTube. I think I posted that earlier today. So yeah.
If people ask, like, oh, is it hard to go do stand-up? It's like, no, I go to open mics and I watch everybody, and I know I'm not the worst. Like,
exactly, dude.
It's an open mic. We're all trying things, so it's no shame on anybody's game.
The best, like, just what that really helped me is going and watching how many people suck.
Yeah, absolutely, it helps.
I was like, wow. I was like, I might not be Kevin Hart, but I know I'm better than this son of a bitch. Like, that definitely helped with confidence, and I feel at the end of the day, having confidence on stage is just as important as what jokes you're gonna tell.
Oh, absolutely.
You need good joke writing, but I've watched people do stand up on YouTube and shit and just suck, and it's like the jokes would be funny if you weren't just standing there nervous as fuck, like muttering them into the microphone.
Yep.
And that's why I do not go on stage.
And that's kind of what I learned. I was like, you know what? It's and then just having the TikTok platform. I mean, most of my shit I'm doing just exaggerated movements, acting it out. That's part of my comedy. And I'm like, I need to do that with it. So that's something I'm still kind of working on. But yeah, it definitely helped watching a lot of these people get up there and just.
Who's your number one go-to?
Watch. I was like, well, I think I'll do better than that guy, so I'm not going to stand out as just the worst of all time. So.
That's right. Who, through all that you've watched and read, who's your, like, number one stand-up? Or comic, I guess.
I don't know, man. I mean, as far as just who I enjoy or inspiration or...
I would say, yeah.
I don't know.
If someone's like, oh man, I've been wanting to watch some stand up, and you're like, oh, this is the one I would recommend, or this is the dude to check out.
I feel like more friends put me on people than I actually watch, but I like Kevin Hart. I mean, I remember in prison, I used to watch the old Kings of Comedy. I don't know why. I just like it. I just used to love them do their thing.
I love that you mentioned Bernie Mac.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic, dude.
And Steve, I used to think Cedric. I used to watch that TV show, whatever the fuck it's called, Steve Harvey show, back when he had the sitcom, and I thought that was hilarious. But probably one of my biggest, as far as an inspiration, I don't know about stand up, but I have seen a stand up, but. Kevin James, just from like that King. Remember the old show King of Queens?
Oh yeah.
That was what I kind of grew up. Just Everybody Loves Raymond, King of Queens. That's what I grew up watching. My whole family would watch it together because it was appropriate enough. It was like a preacher's family, so we couldn't really watch anything ridiculous. But that's what we always watched, and I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it, and Kevin James was all just, I'm not talking like Paul Blart.
Yeah.
Kevin James.
Yep. No, I got you.
The old, when he was in that show, just how he mixes, half the time it's his delivery and just his jokes, and then a lot of times it's just his physical, he'll do some physical comedy.
Yep.
And just kind of a mixture, and that's I always loved his character. And then everybody else on there, so I think that's just kind of helped shape my humor.
All these different bits of, I guess, entertainment now that there are. There's YouTube, Instagram, stand-up. What's your platform of choice, I guess? You like videos? You prefer...
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm scared to death of TikTok because they're just so damn pussy. Videos. That's where I got my foot in the door the most, but it's like I've had any problem anywhere else with videos getting removed, and I'm not even. Oh yeah. You know how it is,
Nope.
And it's like I'm scared to actually express my humor on there because I feel like it's so censored. For the fact that it's like a kid's app still, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not TikTok, but I do have the largest following on TikTok as far as my accounts anywhere else. But Instagram, I've been kind of focusing on that lately. At first, I would just post my videos there as like a tester, just to see the reaction it got before I put it on TikTok because I really cared about the TikTok performance. Yep. And it's like one day, I think, Kev on Stage, he shared like 3 of my videos. Nice. And reposted them to his thing, and that just, out of nowhere, just kind of shot my Instagram up. And, and then like he got Daquan, that page Daquan is hitting me up asking me, for permission to repost some shit. And it just kind of just sent my Instagram going on with some good momentum. So, I guess I'm focusing on that. I feel a little more safe on that. But of course, I would love to get like a good presence on YouTube. I feel like that's the ultimate. I don't think it gets any better than YouTube as far as just being able to do what I want, say what I want, express myself, whatever type of humor I have, not have to worry about getting banned. Yeah. Like TikTok. And they definitely, I think that's the ultimate goal of anybody is to make it on YouTube. That's kind of where it's at right now.
I think the old school comedian, stand-up comedian feel kind of has a hatred for the social media star or social media famous kind of upbringing, bringing that into this other element. But I look at it as a way of like, you did half the work already. You're comfortable. You have people who know who you are, or at least go, I think I've seen that guy before kind of thing, to where... That's half of what I'm trying to do whenever I go up on stage is just to make sure they remember who I am, get them to look me up on something. You have that already, and I'm fascinated by it. I love it. I gotta say, well done.
Absolutely.
Going into prison in 2013, 2004, that time frame to where what social media was. And then to become out, and to be honest, man, if you had 10,000 followers, I'd be doing the same thing and giving you the same praise. So, the fact that where you're at, it's impressive. I do gotta ask, what's next? Where you headed after this?
Man, listen, I wake up every morning, eat breakfast, take a shower, and sit the fuck down and watch TikTokers, YouTubers, just whoever's in a position that I am trying to be in. I just watch them all day unless I have plans, which when everyone else, I don't have a job. This is my job. So, everyone else is kind of my age. You're damn near 29, 30. Everyone's working. They got kids.
Yep.
So I don't really, during the day, I'm just sitting down. I'm just watching people, studying people, and not necessarily to do what they're doing, but I feel like I'm so behind that as far as just what content is even out there. I'm really trying to just take it all in really quick because I feel like you got to have an understanding of the meta or just what's out there in order to be able to do something that stands out from that or the next step above that, which is what I'm trying to do. Yep. I don't know if I'll do it or not, but I believe I will. And so honestly, man, I'm either making content or I'm just studying people who are where I want to be at and just kind of figuring out what the current meta is really, to try to figure out what my next move is. But of course, I would like to move on from TikTok. I don't really feel secure on TikTok. Yeah. I want to be on YouTube. I want to do YouTube. Try to pursue that. That just seems most realistic right now. But definitely the ultimate goal is just, I don't know, just anything comedy, being a movie, being a show, I'm sure that's a long ways off, but that's the goal. That's what I could do until I die that I'd never get tired of doing, and that's why, like, when I lost 10 years, at some point I told myself when I get out.
What plugs you got? Throw those out to everybody.
Everything's Jumpsuit Pablo. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything's Jumpsuit Pablo, all one
word. Do you like what you're listening to? Well, we wouldn't be able to put this together as easy as we do without the help from Anchor. Anchor.fm and the Anchor app make posting our show all over the internet as simple and pleasing as using a bidet.
If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Announcer voice, explain.
Anchor has tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. The only way you can see what we're talking about is to download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Normally this time we do the news, but the news so far has been Amber Heard. That's what the news is. I'm over it. I'm done. So I'm going to talk about the news around the house. News around the house. I got yelled at this week for not saying bless you for a sneeze when I wasn't around the house, if that's correct.
Yes. You were at work.
Right. I got in trouble.
You did. Mm-hmm. It upset me.
Right. Like, you already acknowledge the fact of how ridiculous that is just by your reaction there.
I know.
You have acknowledged. I just want you to understand that.
Okay.
You acknowledge that it's
understand.
ridiculous.
Yes.
Why did I get yelled at again?
I sneezed while you were at work.
Mm-hmm. And what was I supposed to do?
You were supposed to text me and say bless you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Do we have cameras in the house?
Not that I'm aware of.
No. So that's a no. Not that I'm aware of. It's a good point, but no, I don't. So just so we're both on the same page with that. No, we don't. So I wouldn't. How would I know that you would?
Well, it seems like when we're together, you read my mind a lot. So I feel like that we're that close,
Right.
you know?
Even as you deep side before you said that, which is like you knew how
I know.
full of shit you were on that.
But it's
also,
true.
right?
That's the way I feel.
And you stomped around the house a little angry about it. So it's equivalent to like an equivalent to the dream thing, but but stupider. Because the dream, at least, like, you could be angry. How dare you make these thoughts go through my head? I can crazy logic come up with that, but me just not being there, that's crazy psychic logic, and I don't believe in psychics. So,
I just feel like we're on that level. I feel
on that level.
You know, it
How
just.
come then when I stubbed my toe at work, you didn't say, "Oh, are you okay?"
Well, I can't read your mind. Is the
Oh,
thing. Like when we're hanging out, you can read mine.
That's such a psychic
I know
cop-out.
that you
That's
can.
bullshit. That is
Because
a
every
psychic
time I think
cop-out.
something-
You should go get a boardroom in a hotel, rent one out at the Marriott, and tell people you can read their future with that kind of cop-out. You're ready to go. Is there anybody here whose name starts with an R? That way, just in case it's nobody's like, it's me. Oh my gosh, it's somebody speaking to me. Crazy. That kind of logic on there.
I don't think I should be reprimanded because it just shows how I think you feel about me. I feel like you're so connected. We are so connected that you should know I sneezed.
That's
and
fair.
I needed to be
but
blessed.
But then our connection should be so strong that you should know that I think that's all full of shit.
I do understand that.
And
But I also feel like
also,
you should.
I'll be honest with you. I don't care to bless people when they sneeze. I don't want to acknowledge the fact that you sneeze. I hate it. I do it mainly because so I don't get yelled at around the house, to be honest with you. And because of Emery, I got to be proper. And at work, I will think in my head, hey, you have to say this to your coworker when they sneeze. I don't want to. When I sneeze, you don't have to say it to me. Just let's not acknowledge it. Let's just move on with our day. It's like a fart at a certain situation where it's like, we don't need to acknowledge this happened. We'll both have our little giggle and we'll move on. But
Yeah, but saying bless you is like having your little giggle.
But you wouldn't, but yeah. But then how come it's not protocol to say bless you if you fart, but you do when you sneeze? It's the same thing.
I feel like I have said bless you to you when you farted before.
But not in like a business, public situation. Even in a bar. We wouldn't be sitting at a bar and you fart and looking at me like, what, you're not going to say bless me? That's not what you're doing now?
You're right.
Why is it the sneeze the thing that we decided to be like, I mean, I guess because it hurts. Farts can hurt sometimes too, though. See, this is how we figure things out. Why the sneeze? I would like, from now on, if I fart, I would like a bless you. Can I say that? Can that be a thing to where just like people know that if Josh farts in public, treat it like a sneeze? But here's the other.
I can't say
Here's my other
anything for the
caveat with that.
people, but
Sure.
I will do it.
Thank you. And the other caveat then, I don't want you to acknowledge a sneeze. So I want you to ignore my sneeze, but I want you to acknowledge my farts. I think that, because a sneeze is embarrassing to me. I make a weird face. I don't like knowing that you knew I sneeze. I didn't know. A lot of times if I just pinch it up and then stuff comes out your nose and it's a whole situation. Fart, just a little bit of air coming out. It's naturally bodily function. It happens. I'd like to bless you on a fart, and I'd like you to not acknowledge my sneeze.
I'm absolutely okay with saying bless you when you fart. Okay with that.
Perfect.
Absolutely can do.
Perfect.
I do not know if I can reprogram my brain.
That's fair. It's a lot of years of saying bless you when someone sneezes. I
Yes.
get that. That's fair. Okay, I'll take that. I will take the fine. You keep acknowledging my bless you, but then every once in a while, like every third, I'd like a sorry. Like just that you
Yeah,
acknowledge. Like,
absolutely.
Yep. And then, but whenever I fart, as long if it's audible,
Bless you.
bless you. Cool. Is there something in return? Like since you're doing that for me, I feel like that's a good ask, a big ask, because I'd like this in public also. By the way,
Yeah.
not just in the privacy.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything in return you'd like me to do? Because I will. Fair is fair.
I would like you to text me when I sneeze at home. And you're at work.
Cool. So depending on the time of year, every hour, I'll just text you, bless you.
Sometimes it might stick.
Sure. I'm just going to put, sorry, got
We'll go
busy.
1 for 1.
Bless you. And just
One
throw
for
that
one.
so I can be off. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get if I get bless yous out of my farts in public around people who don't get it, absolutely. I will put
Absolutely,
a
I will.
notification in my phone.
But
Because how funny would that be just to see
I need
a
that.
lady say bless you when like the dude obviously farted. She's like, oh, bless you, baby.
bless you.
You're like, what the heck?
I'm
What?
down.
Why?
I'm absolutely down.
That's the way society should be. I'm gonna be real with you. That's just the way. I don't get it. I don't get why we acknowledge sneezing. It's horrible. All right, that's what's been bugging us. I don't know. That's what we got for this week. You guys make sure to follow us on social media. You've seen all the different stuff all on the screens. And come back next week. We got a good guest next week, putting out another episode. We're going to keep them rolling for you. Everyone, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
I don't know why I pointed to you. I thought maybe you do something, but there it is.
Well, that's not what I went with. Here at Beans, we have
Merch. That's right. Finally, your favorite podcast, Dying on the Inside, has their own Here at Beans store. You can find it on Bonfire, where you can get your Here at Beans shirts, your Here at Beans hoodies, your Dying on the Inside podcast t-shirts, Dying on the Inside podcast mugs. That's right, we are selling out. Everything is available. Please come on down to Here at Beans, bonfire.com. Check out the link in the bio.
here